1 Kings chapter 13, beginning with verse 1. And behold, a man of God went from Judah to Bethel by the word of the Lord, and Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. And then he cried out against the altar by the word of the Lord and said, O altar, altar, thus says the Lord, behold, a child, Josiah by name, shall be born to the house of David. And on you he shall sacrifice the priests of the high places, who burn incense on you, and men's bones shall be burned on you. And he gave a sign the same day, saying, this is the sign which the Lord hath spoken. Surely the altar shall split apart, and the ashes on it shall be poured out. And so it came to pass that when King Jeroboam heard the sayings of the man of God, who cried out against the altar in Bethel, that he stretched out his hand from the altar, saying, arrest him. And then his hand, which he stretched out toward him, withered, so that he could not pull it back to himself. The altar also was split apart, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of God had given by the word of the Lord. And then the king answered and said to the man of God, please entreat the face of the Lord your God, and pray for me, that my hand may be restored to me. And so the man of God entreated the Lord, and the king's hand was restored to him and became as before. And then the king said to the man of God, come home with me and refresh yourself, and I'll give you a reward. But the man of God said to the king, if you were to give me half your house, I would not go in with you, nor would I eat bread nor drink water in this place. For so it was commanded me by the word of the Lord, saying, you shall not eat bread nor drink water, nor return by the way you came. And so he went another way and did not return by the way he came to Bethel. Now, what is all of that to say? It is to say that what brought you to where you are will not take you to where you want to go. That there are some things that you have to change. There are some things that you have to change. God had specifically not given him a suggestion, but a commandment, saying, when you go there, eat no bread, drink no water, and do not return the same way that you came. That I've sent you to do something, but I don't want you to go back the same way. It is a shame when you hear truth and turn around and go back the same way you came. It's amazing how you can tell people the truth, give them the truth, and they behold the truth and they walk away, and it is as though they have not even heard the truth. They go back the same way because they're such creatures of habit. And there are certain things that are a detriment when you keep living as though things are the same, when circumstances in the world in which we live, they happen to be changing all the time. You know the definition for insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. So we've talked about how as things are changing in our world, the thing that really interests us the most is this thing called transition. Say transition. Remember, transition is the emotional, relational, financial, and psychological process of change. That's what transition is. That thing that's harder than change itself is the transition. It is the emotional, the relational, the financial, and the psychological process of change. You see, stress comes into your life either when there is too much change or when there's too little change. But people are most receptive to God when they're under stress or when they are in transition. Remember that transitions are external, and change, on the other hand, is transitions are internal, and change is an external event. Death, job loss, bankruptcy, divorce, that'll change your life big time. Marriage, that can change it big times. The birth of a child, that'll change it big time. Those things are changes, but the thing that gets us, if the biggest part of having children was just the event in the hospital of actually giving birth,